everything else down on that computer just to make sure there's nothing, but you're much better now.
Oh, great.
Good.
Good trades this morning.
So, I
said you guys had good trades this morning.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a good day. It was a very good day. We love mornings like this. And Lindsay's earnings plays were spot on. We had great poppers and droppers today. Perfect day.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of start off by saying for the next 30 or so minutes, I've got Kenny here. Kenny was a longtime Wise trader and has been using my clear lines, I think, since the beginning for over a year now, and is an options trader and has been trading a certain method of that very simplistic for a while now. And so he and I have been talking back and forth quite a bit, and I wanted to bring him on. We've talked about a lot about what he's been doing, but I wanted to let him kind of explain it. So even though it's so simplistic, but it's so great. So Kenny, I guess first question, and I want just to opportunity for people to understand who you are and what you're about. Personally, what's your background as far as how long have you been trading? And
yes, my background is yes, my background is through real estate. I was a real estate broker, and back in the late 90s, going into 2000, I wanted to also trade while I was also selling properties. And by being a real estate broker, we sold a lot of REO properties, and I was always in front of the computer. So I was only trading stocks at the time, and I was trading stocks up until about 2000, and then I switched from 1999 to 2000 to only options exclusively. And then over time, I found really good charts using Telechart 2000, and then I saw an ad for George's Wise Trade, and that's when I got involved with Wise Trade.
And when was that?
That was about 2006 to 2007. I got involved with Wise Trade.
Okay. So you've been trading with what you traded with Wise Trade for over 10 years.
Yes.
Were you trading this same strategy that we're going to talk about for this whole time, or has it evolved over the years?
It's evolved due to what's happened with the market. It kind of it's evolved more. And to give you an idea, what I was doing was I would be buying stocks, and I would be holding the stocks for either 1 or 2 days, or I would use the Charlene method, and I would do overnight. And what was happening was all the stocks that I was trying to purchase, I noticed that they had a lot of big swings, and I wanted the ones that had more bigger swings because you can get in between those swings. And I was looking for the ones that had higher ATRs because the traders trade those a lot. And those are the ones I wanted to kind of lock down, is the ones that had the most movement, and then create a strategy within what they were doing.
Right. And I have your list up right now. You have that you've given me, the 13 stocks that you like to trade.
Yes.
They're on my overview screen.
Yeah, I see
them. Apple, Amazon, Google, Facebook, Netflix, Roku, Baba, Chipotle, Booking, which is a little pricey, but
now Booking used to be Priceline, but they switched.
Right. Baidu, Tesla, Nvidia, and Twilio. I'm just putting them alphabetical because I'm a nut like that.
No problem. No problem.
And these are all $100 plus stocks. They all have pretty big trading ranges.
Right.
A couple of them, obviously, a few of them are over $1,000 a share, but most of them are in the 100 to 200 range. So,
right.
And you're trading obviously options on those.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying options only.
Options only. Okay. So you're now using my clear lines, and you pretty much were one of my first subscribers. I believe you've been using it for over a year now, right?
Yes.
And you're focused on two different charts, the daily and the 10-minute.
Yes. Mainly the daily.
So
mainly the 10-minute more so than a daily. I need the daily to support what I'm doing with the 10-minute.
okay. So go through your analysis of what you look for when you're making a trade.
Okay. What I'm looking to do.
Do you want me to put a stock, a certain stock that you may have traded today or yesterday?
Yes, you can put an Amazon. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay, now I look at the notes that I have on Amazon, and Amazon typically moves up a little bit when they have earnings. Their earnings come in today after the market closes. So I watch these traders. Sometimes they slam it, then sometimes they run it up. So I just look for good direction. So around about 10 o'clock, I noticed that my day chart was starting to shape up and that Amazon was starting to have a little bit of a breakout. And what I'm looking to do is purchase the options maybe around 10, 10, 20, and just ride it up for 3 increments of 10 minutes or 4 increments, although this particular one kept going. So I bought around 10:10 and I sold around 10:50. So I took 4 increments of a 10-minute and got out. And then more traders came in, and as you can see, it continued to run, but I'm out of it now.
Okay, so obviously today it created that fresh cross on the day. So that was, I know that's important to you, right? One or to 2 days into a new trend?
I like the 1 day because it seems like more traders come in on the first day than they do the second day. When they come in on the second day, they tend to come in after 11 o'clock. But that first day and that first bust through, when it first shoots through and it looks like the green is at about maybe 1 o'clock and the red is at about 2 o'clock, it's ideal.
So on the day, on the daily chart, right? And then, so what, and I'm going to pull up the option chain. What option did you trade on that today?
The option chain that I traded today, and I have to go back because I use a different screen than what I'm talking to you guys on now, is I'm looking at something like the $1,500 option chain. Although the stock is at $1,700, I'm looking at $1,500.
Oh, so you went way in the money?
Yeah. Wait, let me get back over to my screen and tell you where I'm at, because I have to go to a different screen, Kip, so bear with me.
No problem. By the way, while he's doing that trade on the Amazon that I had short, targeted already, just so you know.
Good job.
And Q's rolled back down.
Okay. All right. Hey, Kip, the one I'm in is the $1,800 one, not 15. 1,800.
1,800. Okay, so let me go to all. So 1,800 call. Okay, so this morning it was, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong, I'm guessing you paid somewhere around 19 or 19.50 for that call?
Yeah, it was about 19.20. I put in a bid for about 19.20, and I was filled.
Okay. And that was pretty much right around the same time. I know the lines crossed before you got the arrow, but the arrow came in, I guess you were in at 10 after, the arrow came in another 10 minutes later, but the lines had already crossed over. So you got in on this beginning of this fresh 10 minute?
Exactly. When they first crossed over, that's when I put it out there, and I waited to get filled, and I got filled at 19.20. And then it started to really arc up.
And that was on this week, the current week option, correct?
Yes, that's on the weekly.
And is that what you're primarily trading, is the current week on the weekly options?
Yes, but I don't trade past like noon on the weekly options because of the time decay. I try to be out, and if I trade on a Friday, I will go into next week just because of the time decay.
Okay. And do you remember where you got out of those options at?
Yeah, although I think that got filled, it was 20. Mine was around about 2360.
Okay, so you got a solid couple of points on that.
Yeah, I was just trying to get between like $4 to $5 total.
Yeah. And are there some days that you don't trade?
Well, I watch every day, and I don't trade every day. I will wait for all these things to set up. Like today is kind of sideways, so I was just into Amazon and a little bit of Roku. But other than that, that's it for now for me for the day.
Okay, so Roku also has the fresh day, and it also, did you get in around the same time on Roku this morning?
My Roku trade was about 10:20 when I got it on Roku.
Okay, so it was actually after the arrow came in on the 10-minute.
Yes.
And how long did you ride that one up?
I got in around about 10:15ish, and I took Roku all the way up to about, I did 3 to 4 increments. I went from like 10:15 to maybe 10:45. So it was like maybe 3. So it's 30 minutes total.
Okay, which was probably about $1 move in the stock, I guess, and
yeah, just a little over $1.
Okay,
because
and so
it was at 90 cents when I bought it, but I got out at $1.90. You know, on as far as being up, it was like 97 cents when I bought, and then plus 197 when I sold. So like almost exactly $1.
Got $1 on the option. That's awesome. And which option did you trade on Roku today?
The one I traded on Roku was the 131 price.
Okay.
When I bought it, it was
yeah, you got in near the low. 92 was the low. It went up to 250, so you nailed it. Good volume. The delta is right around 50, so it moved about equal to about half the price of the stock. So the stock probably had gone about $2 when you got your dollar.
Right. Yeah. I was waiting for it to really push through, because I noticed that Roku tends to trade and they tend to bring the money in after 10:15. And if you study Roku and you watch it enough, you'll see, even if it looks flat or you turn your back on it, for some reason at 2 times of the day, which is 10 to 10:30 and 12:30, almost like they have this set up with the automatic fill to purchase, like robo trading, and they'll buy it again at 12:30, like 12:30 specifically. And those were just notes that I.
So do you mainly just trade the morning, or do you also look in the afternoon?
I mainly trade the morning up until about 1 o'clock. I very rarely trade the afternoon unless I trade at 3:15 to 4 o'clock only for 45 minutes.
In case you get that end of the day run?
Yeah, like Apple was messing around and being flat all day yesterday, would never go, opened up, went to like 320, then stopped, back down, went all the way back down to $1.97 to the upside, and then all day just played around $2. But right around 322 yesterday, it started to run, and it ran up from $2.50 all the way to $3.22 to the upside. So it was a 70-cent spread just on the way out, but I didn't keep it overnight.
Okay. Nice trade. I mean, you can see where it broke out going to the close. It had a lot of volume coming in. Very clear on these charts yesterday.
Right.
Now, you also do puts as well, correct?
Oh, yeah. And I do them the exact same way. But the puts, you have to be extremely fast, because if you're trading like a Roku on the puts, it just scatters all over the place. You got to be extremely careful. So what I like to do with the puts is wait for like really bad news on a stock. Like a couple of weeks back, Roku didn't do something. I'm trying to remember exactly what they didn't do. And the competition was coming in from Disney with their streaming. So everybody just slammed Roku. It went down $30 that day.
Yeah. That was probably back in here. Back in
September. So I like bad news. Yeah, I like to have bad news on it to really trade it to the downside. But when I'm trading to the downside, I use the 5-minute and I use more of the 2 minute because a lot of volume be coming in, and I like to keep seeing that red. I like to see that red for maybe like 4 to 6 intervals of a 2 minute. So like for 12 minutes or for 18 minutes, I like to see a lot of red coming.
Okay, so you'll watch a lower light just to gauge what's going to happen on the bigger lights, basically.
Yeah, I have to, especially with like Roku. If it's a different one, I might pay attention to an 8 minute or a 5 minute. But for Roku, very dangerous stock.
Right. And that's mainly if you're doing puts.
That's mainly if I'm doing puts.
Okay, but when you're doing your call trades, you're pretty much just watching that 10 minute?
I'm just watching the 10 minute, and then sometimes if I see convergence, I'll move the 10 minute to an 8 minute so I can make sure I'm right. But the beauty in all this, Kip, is if you follow and you track the same stocks, you can learn how they open, how they close, and then you have to be careful about the 5 times that they back up and go down each day. So you have 5 different pullbacks a day. You got a 10:30 pullback, 11 o'clock pullback, a lunchtime pullback, a 2 o'clock pullback, and a 3:15 pullback, where the day traders have to be back in cash after 3:15. So you really have to pay attention to what time is it when you're trading.
Right. Let me think. What else? What other subtle new? And you're just strictly watching the clear lines, right? You don't have any other indicators or?
No, I don't. I mean, I have things in my Fidelity account. I have the Bollinger Band, and I have a lot of the MACD. I have a lot of different things you can follow, but I like the simplicity of this software because it's very similar to WiseTrade, and WiseTrade made you not have to do a lot of thinking. You just follow the lights.
Right.
But
go ahead.
But the number one thing that made me hone in on this 10-minute chart was I was noticing that, let's say in the morning I bought Google. Google will be up $3 and I buy Google for $3 up. It'll run to $10 and I wouldn't sell. And I'm sitting in it. And then I noticed when the 10-minute came in, it'll push it back down when it went negative to like $5. Now I'm still up $2 when I bought it at $3. And then I have to wait again for the 10-minute to recycle, and it takes a longer time to recycle. So I say, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to purchase when the 10-minute charges up. I'm going to purchase when it converges and gets tight. I'm going to be out, because what happens is if it goes down on you, it may take you maybe like an hour and a half to get the next 10-minute to the upside if it's after 10:30. So you have to be careful there.
Right. Actually, it looks like Google it was a couple days in, but it had a really nice move this morning. After that initial drop, it had this great move back to the upside.
But I'm glad you said, but look at the 10-minute, how much it drops when it does drop. That's the part I don't like particularly.
Right.
Because they're great stocks in terms of their ATRs, but when they go down, they can really go down. You just got to have the stomach to say, okay, do I ride this out? And I said, well, why ride it out if I could just buy it when it's at this top, and then when it goes back down and it has another fresh one, buy it again, and I just feel safer that way.
Yeah. And you're not looking for the arrow on the day. You're just looking for the fresh cross, correct?
I'm looking for the fresh cross on the green overlapping the red.
Right, on the daily chart. Okay. Yeah, so Bruce, he does not wait for the arrow, because remember, the arrow does not really lock in until the interval completes. So that's not till technically the next day. So the cross will occur, and then it'll lock in at the end of the day at the next day, once the day is complete. Right. So yep. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I was saying that I'm also really, really paying attention to stocks that have only high ATRs. So these things can move very, very fast on you. That's why I get out.
Right. And one thing you did mention, you're typically going in the direction of what the obviously the stock is doing, but you're also watching the direction of the market that day?
Yes, I'm watching the market, but a lot of times the market could be down, like case in point today, market was down 80 points, but Amazon was up $20. So a lot of times I do pay attention, but I'm really looking for like geopolitical news and really bad things when it comes to puts. But on a good day, it can actually go up even when the market's down, like when the market's down 80 and Amazon's up $20.
Yeah. Well, today was kind of a weird day because the NASDAQ was up pretty strong. So you had, with all the FANG stocks, which are most of what you're trading, or, you know, they're all almost all NASDAQ stocks anyways. So with the NASDAQ up, you had most of them moving higher today. It was in your favor.
Right. Yes.
But that's something you look for. Like if you're going to do puts, you want the market to either be green and starting to sell off or be red on the day. If you're going, if you're doing calls, you want the market to be on an up day or coming off the bottom and moving higher, basically.
Yes, and I also like to look at something that might be overbought. Like if, let's say Apple's been running for 3 days, and I know based upon that chart, Apple runs up for 3, down for 2, up for 3, down for 2. I like to get in when I know that it's kind of run out of steam, and the next thing you know, it's going down. Now lately, because Apple's had good press, it had 3 upgrades in the last week. It hasn't really pulled back much, so it's been on a kind of a tear. But the normal trend, if you look at, like, if you click on Facebook chart, it'll kind of give you more of an indication.
Yeah.
Now you'll see Facebook go up for 3 and then down for 3 and then up for 3 and then down for 3.
Right. So you're looking at the cycles on the day as well to help you in determining whether you're going to be. So you're not going to try to get long when you're already third day or fourth day. You're waiting for the next opportunity to get short.
Unless I have a really good 10 with a lot of separation. If I got a good 10, I'll time it, because remember, I'm only doing this for 2 to 6 increments. So like a three increment will be 30 minutes, a 4 would be 40.
Actually, Facebook would have been a great long this morning also, because you had even though the day wasn't right, it's a fresh green day, it wasn't strong, but that 10 sure ripped up this morning and gave about 2.5 3-point move.
Right, and that was a good move.
Yeah. Is there anything else that we're missing? Is there anything else that you're doing that I don't know about?
Well, the only thing that I'm doing that's important to me is I'm studying the charts and I'm studying what these stocks do prior to buying them. So to give you an example, Beyond Meat, symbol BYND, that's a stock that was up, back in July, $239. It was on a tear to the upside, but it's had some bad press and now it's coming down. Now that one is not totally in my 13 or 15 that I follow, but I keep an eye on it because it has a good ATR.
Right. So you spend time studying stocks, looking for opportunities. You're learning the trends of the stocks that you watch. You're learning how they cycle every day, learning each individual pattern, because they all kind of have a life of their own.
Right. And then also, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Now you see how you have Apple up top where you have your watch list and Medvis all the way across.
Yep.
So what I do is the stock that I'm watching today that's doing something good, I move all the way over to the left. I don't care about the alphabetical order. So I'll put Amazon all the way first. And then if I say, okay, well, looks like Chipotle's, been down for 3 days, but it's starting to turn, I'll move that over. So I line them up in accordance to where I feel the traders are starting to go. See, the traders, they move around and they choose all these high ATRs all the time. So they'll run up Amazon for a day, then stop. And then they'll run up Chipotle for a day and then stop. And they'll run Facebook down, then stop. So I watch where they're, I kind of line up where they're going and I anticipate where they're going.
So Club Metro has a question, and then this was actually the next thing I was going to get into, as far as stops. What do you use, or how big of a stop are you willing to give? I mean, what's your process for protecting yourself?
Okay. All right. Perfect example. Let's say I bought Facebook and I got in Facebook and it was already up $1. I know that Facebook is not going over $4.50. It's just not. That's the ATR on it. It's less than 4. So if I get in it on $1, and I also watch the time. The time is very important to me. So let's say I'm trading at 9:35 in the morning. I will run Facebook up to maybe 10 o'clock, but I'm nervous because it pulls back around 10. So what I do is I put in maybe like a 50-cent trailer, or I'll put a 50-cent stop loss on it. So I say, okay, I bought it at $1 up. If it hits $3 and pulls back to 250, get me out.
Okay, but your initial stop, how deep are you willing to go on the initial stop loss?
No more than about 75 cents, because especially if you get a good 10-minute, they don't really drop it down that much if you get a good 10-minute.
Okay.
Now it could be $1.50 on Google because Google has such a high ATR.
Right. So it depends on the stock, but
yes, because there's times when I've been stopped out of something that dropped $2.50 just for them to fill an order, and then right back up $7, and you almost got to chase it twice.
Right. And do you sometimes do that where you get back in?
Yeah, but because I don't know what it is about this 10-minute kip. This 10-minute is just range true. It basically says I'm going down, I'm going sideways, or I'm going up. It doesn't really tell you anything else. And I like it because it's very concise on the higher ATR stocks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Steve. I try to choose my strike based upon the stock that I am buying. So if I'm choosing like a Facebook, I'll try to choose a strike price that's under 40 because I have so much room to grow. So if Steve can get me a 38 delta with a certain strike price, I want it to be between 30 and 40 because I got all that space to go up if it moves strong. So I won't buy a 75 delta on Facebook because it only has 25 more points to go. I need a 40 delta because I got 60 points to go.
Looking at because you feel it's gonna move the delta up as it works in your direction. So you're gonna let it just naturally build that delta for you, basically, because you know it's gonna go.
It's going to move.
Right, and you're going to pay a lot less for the option than a 30 or 40 delta than a 60 or 70 delta.
Yeah, you can purchase more, and then the number one thing that I like about it is that if you look at the option chain on something that runs really good on a real good day, like a Roku, if you purchase a 70 delta and you look at the percentage change, it might say 210% or 220%. But if you buy a 30 delta, it may say 450%. The lower deltas move the most percentage.
Right. Because they're cheaper, but they have a bigger range, so the percentage is higher.
They have more room to run.
Right. Stephen, do you have any other questions for him?
You're welcome.
Do any of you guys have questions? I think I've answered every one that I've seen come through. But any other questions for Kenny? David says, does Kenny trade the same number of contracts on each trade, or does the situation something the number? alter the number.
Yeah, it's always different because I might purchase 50 contracts of Facebook, but I may only purchase 20 contracts of Amazon because of that ATR.
But you're trading pretty good size. You're trading 20 to 50 contracts at a time. Is that right?
Yeah, mine range between 20 and 75 every time.
Wow.
Sometimes 100, sometimes 100. It just depends on what's happening. But sometimes 100.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, if you look up at the top, Kenny's list is up there. It's on my watch list right now. All those stocks on my watch list. Those are the Kenny. This is the Kenny list up here.
There's one more to add, Kip. It kind of has an interesting spring. But this stock called Workday, WDAY, that's another one I've been tracking. I don't trade it yet, but I've been tracking that one. It's under 150 bucks. It has a good ATR.
Okay. Awesome. Patricia wants just to know, what are the pullback, the times for the pullbacks that you look at?
Okay, the pullback time daily for the market as a whole is 10:30. That's the biggest one, by the way. The biggest one is 10:30.
Right. We had the pullback this morning, and then it turned and ran up at 10:30.
11 o'clock on the nose.
Yep.
Lunchtime, which can vary between 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock. It just varies.
So we had a little tiny pullback at 11.
Right.
A very brief one today. But there was a small one. I see it on my cues. And then we just got another little pullback right at noon.
Yeah, because it's lunchtime. It's almost like they have it on automatic. So you have 10:30, 11 o'clock, lunchtime between 12 and 1, 2 o'clock on the nose, and 3:15 when the day traders have to be back in cash.
Okay. 10:30, 11, 12
to 1,
2, and 3:15.
And 3:15.
Okay. I'll post that real quick for everybody.
Great.
All right. Anything else you want to share before we go?
Yes, I do. When you're doing this is a very aggressive trade. So you're going to either be right or you're going to be wrong, and you're going to have to live with the other way it goes. In most cases, if you follow that 10-minute good, you're going to be right, whether you're going up or whether you're going down. A lot of times I will make 2 trades by noon, and I'll shut this whole computer down, and I'm gone for the rest of the day.
Which is a good thing. It's smart to do that so you don't get tempted.
And you have a better quality of life if you can afford to leave and go do something else and enjoy a good steak.
Yeah. 1 second. Do you limit in on your trades or market?
I limit on everything. Yeah, I limit on everything. I can't afford the market.
Yeah, they'll kill you on those big ones. Are you able to cut the bid and ask on some of those?
Sometimes I buy the mid, like if something is like on the bid, if it's $2 and on the ask it's $2.20. Sometimes I'll play the mid and get it for $2.10.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Tom, I'll show you in just a minute how to put the ATR on there. I've got it on my daily chart down here at the bottom. You just have to add the indicator. There's an indicator for, you do it on a historical chart. It's down in the lower section, average true range. That's all you have to do. Well, hey, Kenny, I want to thank you for taking time out of your trading day to join us.
No.
I think what you're doing is amazing. It's a great strategy. It's a simple strategy. I mean, basically 2 charts and a small list of stocks and just waiting for everything to line up. It's simple rules. It's a great strategy. And if anybody has additional questions, if you would email me directly, and I'll forward it off to Kenny. You can email me at kip@equity-alerts.com. I'd be happy to pass that on. He's just great guy, and I appreciate him sharing this. He didn't have to come on and share this. He didn't have, he's doing real well with it, and we're a great community because we're traders helping traders. And Kenny, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for being here today.
No problem. And thank you, Kip, for all the work you do for all of us. When Wise Trade shut down, I didn't know what other charts I would be using. Thank God I had the number of stocks that I like to use already, but I like the indicators and this equity alerts and the MedVet. This does just as good a job as the Wise Trade. So I want to thank you for all the help and work that you do every day for all of us.
Oh man, you're welcome. I'm glad I was able to make it all come together. and I'm happy to have you guys every day. So, all right. Thanks again, Kenny. It is time for Lindsay to pop in. I'm going to go ahead and, Kenny's already cut himself out. Okay.
I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
All right. That was great stuff. I just, sorry, Kip. I just pulled up Amazon, and what was the other one? Google you did?
No. Amazon and Roku at the 10 o'clock hour.
That's right. Those are, I can see it. It's just perfect. They got fresh crosses, and that's good stuff. I like it.
Yeah, you can see though. And the traders do this every day. I watch them do it. And what I try to do is get right involved when they're going to do it.
Right.
You just got to follow the money. That's all you're doing is you're following the money flow.
And these are not newbies doing this. These are experienced people that do the same thing. All they do is rotate in and out of these same stocks all the time. And I sit here, I go, I'm just going to follow what they're doing. But the 10-minute light helps me the most because it follows them truly.
It's awesome, man.
All right.
All right. Thanks, buddy. I really appreciate it. All right. I'll talk to you later.
I enjoy it.
Thanks, Kenny. Appreciate it.
Uh-huh.